Here we are at the end of Europe. Just a few more days before we sail to the edge of Africa. So just took care of a nasty problem. The toilets were blocked with some gunk and toilet paper. Somebody put toilet paper in there. And it happened, ironically, just when I'm doing some kind of cure treatment to clean up my insides. I'm eating bird seeds and avocado, part of my treatment. While I'm getting cleaned out, I needed to go to the bathroom bad, and I couldn't go because it was all blocked up. Now I'm just waiting for my insides to get cleaned up. So thank you, Natasha, for cleaning me out, and it's a good thing we had to do that. So now everything's good. But it was nasty. Wow. It was a good thing it happened now and here. And there was another issue to take care of, giving Galopin a good scrub. This was the perfect place for this. The water is so clear, and there's even a little friend swimming around. The harbor here is almost an aquarium. The anti-fouling we applied has held up good in these cooler waters. Not too much growth and just a few barnacles on the propeller shaft to pry off. Meanwhile, Junior here kept himself well fed, thanks to the fisherman who offered a few live sardines for him, or her. And there, Galopin's hull is practically perfect, almost ready to go. A sports shoe brand contacted me and asked me if I'd tried their product and mention it in one of my episodes. The shoes were for trekking in wet and dry conditions. Perfect for me. They were ultra light and incredibly comfortable. And their unique selling asset is their self-draining soles. I had them for a while and waited for the best time and place to really test them out. This was the place to put them through the test. I'm pretty ruthless with things, and the marine environment is even tougher. Here on the solid lava flow, good solid shoes are a must. And now was the time to get them soaked and see if they can get me out of this mess. Test passed. We would have loved to swim here, but not today, obviously. Natasha herself was on a quest to find a vital resource for us, one that can be best discovered here on the cliffs: salt. She chose her product carefully and bagged it. 2 kilos of the most natural of sea salts. And now for the final shoe test, a rock-filled beach. Let's see how we make out. here's the benefit of these water shoes. The water drains right out of their soles. Another test passed in flying colors. So, A-liter shoes, you got my thumbs up. Any of you want a pair? Get the link below and tell them you saw A-liter shoes on Sailor Alex's feet on Winded Voyage. El Hierro is a haven for scuba divers. Dozens would depart every day to see the protected nature below the surface. Mom Turtle even made a showing. And since Natasha put me on a diet for a week, meat was not on the menu, but fish was. And there was plenty of fresh caught Atlantic fish delivered right here, practically at our front door. One of the main catches was this type of long, thin tuna. We tried them in steak and it was close to swordfish. But today, we were in a mood for red meat, bonita tuna. We got this one for €7, 2 kilos of fresh steak fillets. It raises the question, why go fishing? You need a license and know how to fish. Not quite my case. So my philosophy is to let the pros do what they do best. And look, they're my neighbors. So I don't need to compete with them, but rather support them. If I'd stayed longer, I would have befriended these guys and asked to go out with them one day. We took a bus up to the top of the mountains and into the clouds where it's wet. In the summer, these fields were a lush Irish green. It was the eve before sailing out. The weather looked good and we had one day to see some of the island. So we followed this trail downwards to the western side of El Hierro. Here the forest is nourished by the moisture trapped in the clouds. The view is extraordinary from here, a sheer 1,000 meter drop as you cannot see. You also can't see how steep the trail is and it's wet and slippery. Again, Natasha couldn't help herself to wild laurel leaves this time for future bewitching concoctions. We just could not get below the cloud cover and see much, but what we did see was still amazing. So wild and bushy and gnarly. These trees were a massive tangle of roots and branches and everything else. These things must be hundreds of years old. It was getting warmer as we descended altitude, but we are still high. Finally, we got under the cloud cover, and I took out my drone. started slow and easy. Not too far, but when it went up, it would disappear in a fog. Suddenly, I lost control. It kept going up and up and up. And I was pushing buttons to come home and buttons to do this and that, and it was not responding. Then it came spiraling down and crashed into a bush. Holy splinters, did I get lucky. And I lost control. I wouldn't come down. And look where it fell. Extreme luck. Putain. We were getting back to civilization. We found some nutrition by way of almonds. And that bit into a cactus fruit.
Le goût de la papaye et des mangues mélangées.
After a quick round of Canary and wrestling, Natasha wrestled some fruit out of somebody's yard. Marauding, it's called, right? But we had a bounty of fruit. Now, the next bus back to the marina was 2 hours away, so we had a bite here. And about an hour bus ride away, we were back to La Restinga. Tomorrow, we go. Yes, it's been a long and great trip. More than a year and a half in the Canaries, and I could have stayed longer. These islands are much more than a yachtsman's stop before crossing the Atlantic. They are vibrant, alive, and wonderful. European and yet South American. They have so much to offer if you take the time to accept that offer. Here you will meet some of the most terrific folks if you take your time and make an effort to speak Spanish. Part of my voyage is to discover places where I may want to settle down someday if and when I can't sail anymore. And the Canaries are most certainly a good spot. And not only did you, the Canaries, give me incredible memories, you taught me how to sail. You slapped me silly and you gave me the courage to face the acceleration zones and manage. You made me a better sailor and a better man. To you, the Canaries, and all the friends I met there, I truly, profoundly love you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for your hospitality and lessons I've learned. Now, I feel ready to go even further.